guys, welcome back to Release the Craftin. Priscilla here, with a little tiny tutorial to share. I'm in the middle of working on my shop update. Everything is crazy. I've been doing lots of artsy stuff. So you can see the state of my fingers. I just got done making a huge mess here, but I wiped it up because I needed to sew some signatures in. And I figured I'd take a break and stop real quick and just put the camera up to film this. Because the most requested tutorial I have is how to put signatures in, and I usually sort of defer responsibility to that to April because she has a bunch of really great videos on her channel. Definitely check her out, Pink Godbird. I'll link her down below. She has a couple like full start to finish walkthroughs on how to put a junk journal together on her channel. But I figured because so many people keep asking me for it and I have a couple hardcover tutorial videos, it makes sense to eventually like buckle down and show you guys how to sew a signature in. So for those of you who are experienced at sewing in signatures, there's nothing new here. Honestly, I'm not going to teach anything amazing or exciting. I'm just going to show you guys how to do a basic pamphlet stitch. And that's how it's like my typical method of sewing in signatures. Some of the fancier stuff that I do, I get from Sea Lemon, so I'm always going to refer people to Sea Lemon's channel and not teach her stuff here. But I figured I would do this really quick. So I'm in the middle of working on that shop update. Like I said, this is just a little simple single signature journal. So it's going to be really straightforward. All you basically need is something to make holes with. I have this hole punch tool, sharp sticky thing. A doll needle works really well. That's what I usually use to sew in my signatures because I feel like the size of this just brings me comfort. But you can also use this to punch holes. A particularly strong thumbtack would also work. You don't have to have special tools. A lot of people use an all AWL. Anything that'll make a hole efficiently without hurting yourself is the way to go. And then of course you're going to need something to sew in your signatures. I always use a wax thread of some kind. I get this from the leather section in like craft stores. And they come in a bunch of colors. You can even order them online. The standards that I use are white, black, and brown. But you know, if you want to get fun with it, they have like reds and purples and stuff. Not important. Not what we're here for. Not talking about thread. So basically we're just going to punch in some holes. For single signatures, I never measure or do anything like that. I just go for it. In like bigger books with larger spines, I'll get a piece of graph paper and sort of map out where I want the holes to go. That's the only difference here. And I don't know, maybe I can show you guys that later on if you're interested or you need someone to walk you through it. I'd be more than happy to show you, so just let me know in the comments if you want to see like doing a larger spine, how I come up with the graph to figure out how my holes go and punch those signatures in. But it's the same basic method to sew in the signatures in a big book as it is in this book. So I'm just going to eyeball it. For the pamphlet stitch, you need to make sure that it's always an odd number of holes. And you'll see why when we sew it all together. So usually it's 3, 5, 7 if you really want to be like super secure. Anything more than that and you're just punishing yourself. But I'm going to do 5 in this one, and I'm just going to eyeball where the middle is, and then punch this hole all the way through. Give it like a little good wiggle so that, you know, it's a substantial hole. Then I'm going to go a little bit under halfway to make my second hole. Give that another wiggle, and then come here just to like maybe half an inch before the edge. It's not like a necessity. I just don't want to come up to the edge and have it tear. And then we're just going to do the same thing quickly on the other side. And going all the way through the pages and the cover as well. And I just have this little piece of cardboard down to protect my surface. I don't know how effective it is, but it makes me feel better. And then I'm just going to take my thread. And usually I go for single signatures. I only go about twice and then like this many inches. That's like 4 inches. Longer than the actual cover length. For larger signature books, and I don't know why this is, I always end up measuring out about like 2.5 times the amount of thread I need, which is handy if I want to make like dangly stuff. It gives me an extra space in the, you know, to make like little signature dangles. But otherwise, you really don't need that much. 2 and a little bit extra is always pretty standard, unless you're going to put a bunch of holes in yours. So we're going to sew down through the middle. Keep in mind that the side that you start from is the side that your strings will end up on. So if you want your threads to be tied off on the other side, then start on this side. And, you know, this is the way I start because I want this signature to be tied off in the middle. So we're going to pull this through, and you're going to leave a little tail here. I'm just going to clip it in, and then come to the other side. And it doesn't matter which side you start with. Start whichever one, you know, your heart tells you is right. And we're going to come back up through here. Hopefully this video doesn't look too crazy. And then we're going to go this way to the very last hole on the edge here. And come through. And now we're going to go back up through the hole we already made. Attempt to not stab your thread. I always do and have to redo the hole. Hopefully this time I won't because I'm on camera and the pressure is on. It's not like a big serious issue if you do go through the thread. Just be in mind that, like, keep in mind if you pull that tight, you're going to pull your other thread as well. Which may or may not necessarily be an issue later on. So we're going to come over here to the first hole from the middle. Go through that. And then through our last hole here. I'm really impressed with myself right now. Usually I struggle to sew in signatures, which is why I don't typically, stab myself with the needle. And, so that's why I don't typically film it, because I struggle. Although I do have a hint for those of you who do struggle, which may come in handy. So then we go back down through this hole, and then back up to the center. I know you guys are like, oh my gosh, you're almost out of thread. It's okay. It's not that serious. Although the size of this needle may make it tricky. And my hand-eye coordination also makes it tricky. Whoop. Sorry. I had to bring the camera down low so you guys could see what was happening. And here's the struggle I was talking about. So when I'm struggling to, like, get the needle through here, instead of just trying to, like, ram it through or spend all my time trying to, like, fiddle the pages so that I can get the needle through, I just take the needle and I stick it with the eye through the hole in the direction I need the needle to go. And then apparently I face resistance for some reason. Probably because this shifted while I was finagling it. There we go. So I just stick the eye of the needle through there and then rethread it. And then it's like I didn't have any issues whatsoever, and I just finished sewing. So then I'm going to unclip it because it makes it a little easier to tie, and then also make sure that, I don't know, you don't have to make sure, but this makes sure that your signature doesn't, like, pull on your cover when you go to tighten it. So you're going to take your threads, one on either side of the center. I don't like how loose this is, so what I'm going to do is pull this thread, because it came under this way, and then pull this thread so it's nice and tight. This one's a little wonky. I'm going to do the same bit here. If I pull this way, it's going to pull this out, so I'm going to pull this way. And so there we get a nice tight bind. And then I'm just going to double knot it, and that's literally it. That's all there is to it. I hope that helps you guys who have been wondering how to sew in signatures or kind of just starting out and you're not sure how to get your signatures in there, but that is what I do. I use the wax thread because it's not prone to slipping. You can wax your own thread with a candle, like a beeswax, and just run your thread through there a couple times. If you don't want to buy waxed thread, and then I cut it. I try not to cut it like flush with this, but just, you know, small enough that you don't really notice. And that's it. That is how you sew a signature in. So all you have to do is decorate this, and it is done. Probably going to press it a little bit because it's a little bit of a thick signature. But otherwise, that's it, guys. So I hope that helped. I will catch you on the next one. Stay tuned. There's going to be some more videos. I have my November challenge video to come up pretty soon. I was going to do that today, but then I did art and made my fingers look gross. And I think that's only good for tutorials, not show reels. Show reels? I just made that up. And then I'm gonna have the shop update coming up, so you guys will see the stuff that I made for that. Really excited to share it with you guys. I'm a little hyped, get a little hyped, but don't rush me, it's coming. I'm going to have some books there. I know some people have been asking me about how to buy books from me. Essentially, at this point, the only way I will be selling books is through these shop updates, doing shop drops of books that I make. Mostly because it's just a system that works for me right now. I'm trying to see how I can sort of expand on that in the future or do more frequent updates. We'll see how it goes. I want to see how this shop update does, and that'll kind of determine how I release books in the future. I'm still not open to taking commissions yet, just because of time constraints, but I do think I will be doing more frequent shop updates so that you guys can get books that I make, and I'll be kind of doing some stuff that I've had sitting in the wings for a while. There's some like really fun ideas I want to share with you guys. I'm looking forward to that. But I think November is going to be a really fun month for us. Gonna be lots of stuff going on with the poetry challenge and the shop update and I don't know, whatever else I come up with. I think I'll do a crafting tutorial. I have a shelf that I want to refix, like rehaul. It's like a little wooden shelf thing. It's like this big. I don't know why I'm doing it like this. But I think that will be fun to walk through and show you guys how I do that. Let me know if there's anything else you guys want to see, any tutorials I can share with you. I would love to share more stuff with you guys. I just kind of want to know what you want to see. But yeah, this has been the longest goodbye, so I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate your faces, and I will catch you all in the next one. Bye!